don't know what angle you're going to take. But Sunak's done something that, from where I'm sitting, appears to be quite spectacularly stupid. When he has talked about Keir Starmer having gone from embracing Keir Starmer, embracing Jeremy Corbyn, to embracing Natalie Elphicke. Keir Starmer has been dedicated since 2019 to showing voters that he has changed his party beyond all recognition. And Rishi Sunak is doing his PR in that sentence, in that phrase there.
Yeah, it was very interesting listening to him try and say that Natalie Elphicke's defection shows that Keir Starmer doesn't have any principles. But exactly like you say, the whole point of Keir Starmer's premiership and what many people genuinely thought that was going to be impossible, that the idea that Labour could win the next election, is that he's been trying to take his party on a journey and then show that, like I say, that voters can trust the Labour Party. Again. But look, yes, the speech was generally about trying to set up the party, the country, for what will be, what he hopes, the general election fight to come. And obviously he's not actually called the date yet, but that was the election calling speech, I thought, with everything but the date in it. He's just fired the whole starting gun on what the narrative that he wants to paint. And his overarching message in that was security. So he's telling us he is the man to provide that economic security, the national security, and for our country's future. Some of very doomster and gloomster at first glance. And he's actually said, he spoke about how the world was getting as close to nuclear war as he thought it did during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
More will change in the next 5 years than in the last 30. I'm convinced that the next few years will be some of the most dangerous, yet the most transformational that our country has ever known. So the question we face today is this: who has the clear plan and bold ideas to deliver a secure future for you and your family?
So what he was trying to do, I think, of provide a little bit more of what Rishi Sunakism is, what his vision is for the future.
Rishi Sunakism is?
What Rishi Sunakism is.
What is Sunakism? Sunakism is. Carry on.
He said that our country is at a crossroads, that he's trying to lay out the choices that the people will face come that next election. And I asked him, does this essentially mean that you're saying that Keir Starmer is a danger to our security?
At the end of the day, when it comes to this question, right, his track record would tell you that. And I don't say this for political point scoring, but that is just the reality of the situation. He's someone who believed Jeremy Corbyn would make a good Prime Minister of our country, not once but twice. Jeremy Corbyn wanted to pull us out of NATO, wanted to scrap the army. Multiple members of the government that Labour would provide don't believe in a nuclear deterrent. So I don't see how you can, with a straight face, say to the country, yes, I'm prepared to do what it takes to keep you safe. The evidence just doesn't suggest that at all. And actually, Labour Party and Keir Starmer not matching our investment on defence spending emboldens our adversaries. What do you think Putin thinks when he sees that? That he thinks the West isn't prepared to make the tough choices to invest in their security.
Keir Starmer is apparently a danger to our security, which is a very interesting message to try and put across to the country, which I don't know if that's going to work.
Well, I read the 2019 manifesto, and I am far from a cheerleader for Jeremy Corbyn, but the commitment to remaining in NATO was pretty clear. So where's he got that from? Do we know?
I think whatever Jeremy Corbyn thought about NATO, whatever he thought about our economic security and our nuclear deterrent and things, those are fair points to make. But yes, it was not on the ballot box in 2019 at all. And finally, I just wanted to also play you a little clip from when he was talking about Liz Truss. And this is something we talked about at PMQs last week, how he's starting finally to distance himself from that Liz Truss premiership and trying to basically say that it's nothing to do with me.
But he did back her, didn't he?
He did. Sorry.
He did. Well, he kind of. Well, no, didn't back her. He lost to her. But previously, he's been very reluctant to say.
He has been very reluctant to essentially put his hands up and say, put his hands up and say, Liz Truss actually, he said, let's not judge my record on the 49 days of Liz Truss's premiership.
When Labour ignores the achievements of the last 14 years, or try to reduce the last 14 years to 49 days, remember what they're actually doing is trying to distract you from the thing that matters most. The future. Now I'm clear-eyed enough to admit that yes, maybe they can depress their way to victory, with all their talk of doom loops and gaslighting and scaremongering about pensions. But I don't think it will work. Because at heart, we're a nation of optimists. We're not blind to the challenges or threats that we face. We just have an innate belief that whatever they are, we can overcome them, as we have done so many times in our history, and create a secure future for you and your family.
So the Prime Minister finally distancing himself from that chaotic reign of Liz Truss. And I think that's one of the things that Number 10 are considering when they're talking about when to decide to call that election date, is how far they can push it. Because the later you can push it, the more you can say, I'm nothing to do with Liz Truss. I've tried my best to turn things around. But will it work? I'm not sure.
Not if people are still paying mortgages. Does he know who's been in power for the last 15 years?
Doesn't feel like it, does it? It's Mr. Change candidate coming out again.
Do you think someone should tell him? Yeah. Could you tell him? Because I noticed that you were on his podium. There's a nice photograph of you on his podium.
It's a very old photo, that of me.
It's a very nice photograph of you.
How does that work?
How does that work? Because I like that the
it's just in case
prominence
the
given
forgets,
to LBC.
He forgets what my face looks like. In case
but you were in 6th place.
That's not bad,
after
is it?
The Sun, the Telegraph, ITV, the BBC and the Daily Mail. That's brilliant.
That's not bad.
Can we start moving up this chart, do you think? Can we get some? Because in the tradition of radio demands now that we start playing that old bit of music, doesn't it? The Fluff Freeman bit that goes with the hit parade. So at 7, it's Gary Gibbon of Channel 4. At 6,
I think I should be able to LB. No offence to Mr. Gibbon, I think I should be able to.
No, well, I want you to take down Mason.
Okay,
that's your mission.
Lovely Chris Mason.
I was before Mason the other day, actually.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, you can take down Groves of the Mail, can't you?
I could try.
Fantastic.
He's got sharp elbows as Groves.
We should add that this speech was delivered not in the House of Commons or on what you could call neutral ground. It was delivered at the Policy Exchange think tank, which seems to have become Rishi Sunak's favourite think tank.
It has. He's long been a fan of Policy Exchange. What actually scared us all the most was when we looked at the podium, we just thought, is there any chance you can just rip off that big shiny crest and just call an election right here?
Part it on his...
The room was packed with aides and MPs and everyone. It really did feel like that was the speech that he was going to be. Look, he could have easily.
There was a chance he was going to make a big announcement today.
I thought maybe that could be it.